pictures of your space and your environment.
Did you
Uh,
like them?
I love them. Yes, I mean, it's always so interesting, isn't it, to see inside someone's world. Basically, it's always.
Basically, my own, all that I have on Instagram is interiors porn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I mean, interiors just tell you so much more than an outfit ever could.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? What is it about spaces?
It's more permanent. I mean, when you, because they don't fluctuate so much. When you decide on an interior, I think that really defines your character a lot more accurately than clothes do, which, um, which you can, change your moods. But I think when you are creating an interior, that's such a personal signature that is more profound.
Yeah.
And it is a signature. It's an aesthetic signature. It's you can really, I think, figure somebody out by their interior.
Tell me about some of the things. There aren't many things in the apartment, but tell me about some of the things that are there. I'm thinking about the skull. Is there a story behind that of where that came from and
Oh,
why you like it? And
right. I got it on the internet back when you could get stuff on the internet like that. I have one in my office in Paris and one in my and one here in Italy. And I got it from a medical supply place. And I know that it can seem disrespectful and it can seem a little too gothy, but in my head, they're more like memento. They're more traditional, like a memento mori.
Mhm.
Um, and they're also, I think, there's something kind of stabilizing about them because what is the memento mori motto? All is vanity, and it does remind one that your time is very impermanent, and not to take things too seriously, not to take yourself too seriously, not to get too worked up about things because it's over all too soon. And at some point, my head will be on somebody else's desk. So
Someone
that,
fabulous, we hope.
huh?
Someone fabulous, we hope.
uh, and then there is a George Means sculpture from the from Vienna. He was a Viennese sculptor, and it was one of, I think it's a model, because he did a fountain that was a circle that was encircled by those kneeling youths. And it was from the Vienna Secession. And I'd always admired that fountain. And then and I'd always wanted one of these, and I finally just hunted one down, and I finally got it. And it's most of the things that I get are things that I've wanted for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I don't really, I'm not an impulsive buyer, and um, and I don't like clutter. So I don't like filling my world with impulsive things. I mean, it has to be kind of a serious commitment.
Mhm.
Um, so there's that. I always wanted a sarcophagus,
Mhm.
an Egyptian sarcophagus. And I have a friend who's a dealer in things, and he can, like, for years he was sending me imagery of different sarcophaguses that were available, and they were all really colorful and very Disney. Surprisingly, they all looked fake. And I mean, this guy is the most credible, authentic dealer that I've ever run across. So I mean, I would never question his taste or resources. But it's surprising how many of them look a little bit fake.
Mhm.
Anyway, so he found this one, which was just plain polished wood that was so beautiful, and so the wood was just gorgeous. So um, I got that. It's 740 BC.
Mhm.
Um, and I was kind of like, there was a famous picture of Yves Saint Laurent with the black sarcophagus that he had. And I kind of always wanted that one. And I was,
Yeah.
yeah, his is bigger than mine. Anyway,
Well, let's not get too hung up on that.
I can't help but be competitive a little bit. Then there is a set of Elil Saarinen chairs from 1901, and he's somebody that I've followed since I was a teenager, so like an architectural hero. And I'd always been, I'd never really thought about his furniture, but there was a time when I was building these apartments, and I was thinking I needed chairs, and I needed chairs that had pedigree, and but were not ostentatious,
Mhm.
but were comfortable, but were modest, but were glamorous. So like I was asking a lot of these chairs. Then and I was looking, and I wasn't going to obviously Jean Array would be like the most popular one, but um, I just there were too many. There was too much genre out there, so it needed to be something a little bit more obscure. So I don't know how, but I finally found these, and it was by my favorite architect, and it was an exclusive dining set that he never. It was made for a family um,
Wow.
in Finland in 1901, and it was perfect. It was a perfect set, and it was a fortune, but it was totally worth it because I use them every day, and I love them every day, and they're surprisingly comfortable,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, really comfortable, like desk chair comfortable. So that's an example of one of those things that I just always wanted for years and years and years, and finally, and I just waited, and I got it. And what else is in there? Um, I think that's it. There's some Italian futurist heads that I used. Oh, the other thing that I do is because I have a beach apartment in Venice, and it looks almost exactly like this, except the floors are Sardinian stone. They're not travertine, but
Hmm.
all of the bed and the floors, um, and the Sardinian stone, it's kind of a light gray, but it's got ripples in it, kind of like sand, kind of. And I have these Italian futurist heads um, in there, and every summer when it's time to go to Lido, I have the sarcophagus and the George Mean and some other bronze things that I have. I have them all trucked over to the Lido, and I have moved them there for the summer. And the sarcophagus goes in the gym, and the mean sculpture goes out on the terrace. And
Uh-huh.
then when winter comes and it's time to come back to Concordia and close the Lido apartment, I just bring it all back.
Hmm.
Um, so I move them for the seasons.
That's
Because
great. They travel with you. Well, listen, Rick, thank you so much for talking to
it was
me.
a pleasure. Thank you. And again, I apologize for being so late. I've been really scrambled lately. We're launching Men's Runway, so I'm very
Yeah,
uh, distracted with that, but distracted in the best possible way.
yeah, brilliant. Well, we can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Okay.
much. Thank you. Bye bye.